I will say this. David Njoku is a tight end for the Cleveland Browns. He's unbelievable. He's probably the best young tight end in football. He's a great player. But he was talking about Odell Beckham this weekend, and David's going to have a great year and a great career. He's a like the kid at Kansas City, Travis Kelce. He's just better. He's just better than all the young guys out there. And he talked about Odell Beckham, and he said, that guy's is phenomenal fit with Cleveland. It's phenomenal. It's like the fourth guy on that team that has been quoted saying, Odell Beckham's going to be a phenomenal fit. It's July. Everybody fits in July. The Cleveland organization and the Cleveland players have become a teenage girl on Instagram. They keep projecting how great it's going to be. The truth is, Cleveland's the easiest team in the league to figure out this year. There's two facts about Cleveland. They're the youngest roster in the NFL. They are. Super talented, they are, and a new head coach. They're going to be like Jacksonville. They're going to be young and dynamic and intimidate people and blow some people out. And then, like a young team, they're going to talk a lot, and they're going to play through injuries, and they don't have an elite coach, and they have a young quarterback who's prone to mistakes but also very talented. And here's what's going to happen to them. They're going to struggle early because their schedule with a new system is brutal. My guess is they could lose the home opener with Tennessee, at Jets, Rams, at Ravens, at Niners, Seahawks, at Patriots, at Denver. They're going to struggle a little bit in the first 2 months. Let's say 4-4. Then they're going to get red hot. And they may win 7 straight games. It's a bunch of Buffaloes, Miamis, Cincinnatis, Arizonas, Cincinnati again. They'll split with Pittsburgh. They're going to get smoking hot. And then the playoffs come. And young teams do not win the AFC. They don't. Peyton Manning did. Tom Brady did. They don't win the AFC. And they're going to crash hard. And what's interesting about the whole Odell Beckham situation is very predictable. Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield are on different watches. Baker Mayfield's got 15 years to play. Odell Beckham's 5 years in. He wants to be a global star. He's already been hurt. And receivers have the second shortest NFL careers. And he's small. He's small and at times a little spindly. Okay, he wants to win, get numbers, and be a superstar for the next 3 years. He didn't buy a house in Cleveland. He is there to win and get big numbers. He wants to be a global superstar. And unlike all the other young Browns players who play tight end and will last 12 years, quarterback lasts 15, pass rusher lasts 11, dude's got about 4 years left to hit it. And when this team is 3-5 or 4-4 and he's not getting the looks and he's getting doubled, is he the calming, soothing voice that a young locker room needs? Because on his good days, he's dramatic. So I think Cleveland, there's a lot of projecting here. Oh, Dell's great. He's phenomenal. Could be amazing. Everybody's good in July. I think Cleveland's incredibly predictable. A lot of energy, a lot of talent, youngest roster, implementing a new offense, struggle a little early, some losses you think are wins like the opener hosting Tennessee, then smoking hot. Starting somewhere in early November, November 3 to November 10, you're going to reel off about 7 wins in 8 weeks, and you're going to be the talk of the league, and Odell's going to be making catches, and then you're going to crash hard in the playoffs if you get there. Wild card team if you get there. Go on the road like in New England, at Kansas City, at Indianapolis, and crash hard. But it's going to be funny because this whole Odell Beckham thing, his watch isn't set to the same time as everybody else's watch. All these young players on this team, they have 10-year careers coming up. Njoku, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett, these guys are going to play for 10 years. OBJ, been hurt, 5 in, no time to waste. He's got about 4 to make this puppy work. Entering his 9th season with the Saints, a 4-time Pro Bowler. I don't think he's ever missed a start, not for a long time. He's played in 128 NFL games. His name is Cameron Jordan, and he is joining us for the first time in the Herd, All-Pro Saints defensive end, big-time personality, outspoken. What is going on? It's a pleasure to have you on. We've never had you on the show before.
Right? Slide in. Many times I'm in L.A.
And you're in L.A. all the time?
I feel like I am.
You're a big personality. You're big.
I'm a big person.
You jump through the TV screen.
Okay.
You've got a rivalry with Cam Newton, which I think is great.
I have a rival with anybody in my division, but yes, any quarterback is definitely my
By the
my
way,
fixation.
Do they? Is it a serious question? Although it won't sound serious. Does every quarterback feel different to sack? Are there different sounds? Are there different feels? Are there different strategies?
I mean, yeah, of course. There's always going to be different strategies when you're facing somebody like, we have in our division. You face Matt Ryan. As soon as you get a hold of him, he's going down. It's not like he can just sort of shrug you off. I mean. That can't happen. You get a hold of Cam Newton, he can shrug you off, he can outrun you, he can then, as he's falling, sling a 60-yard accurate ball. I mean, he's probably the greatest sack you're going to try and get after just because he's strong as Ben Roethlisberger. He's got, accuracy like any other top-tier quarterback. And then, of course, he can outrun you more than, Russell Wilson can.
Do you talk to him when you've sacked
I
him?
talk a lot. All quarterbacks don't talk back, man. Like, they don't care about us.
No, I don't think it's that. I think that's not why they don't talk back, because you can hit a quarterback, and if a guy could hit me, I would make sure I'd be like, Cameron, that was a great sack. You're a fine player.
You going Andrew Luckett?
Oh, totally.
That'd be so. It's just overly aggravating. In fact, that's not helping your case because now I just want to hit you more. You tell me good job. I'm just like, all right, it wasn't good enough. I'll give you this next one.
When you're a great pass rusher, you're in a very interesting spot. By and large, I want my players to play defensively in a system, but you're unique. You're one of 4 or 5 guys in the league that I kind of want you to go get the quarterback. How much are you in a Saints system, and how much do they allow you to be Cam Jordan and kind of do your thing on the edge?
Camera's on for this. All right, perfect. So, when you talk about the mentality of our defense, about how we want to get after the quarterback, we've had pieces. Now I've got Marcus Davenport. I had Sheldon Rankins, who just got injured last year, so he'll come back sometime this year. You've got David Onyemata. When you're attacking a quarterback, it's because of these other pieces that you can go ahead and go after the quarterback relentlessly. So at this point, I've gone through 4 different D coordinators on the Saints team, so I feel like it can't be just scheme, right?
When you come into the league, everybody wants a pass rusher. You have become the most valuable defensive piece. I talk to college coaches. They're like, just give me an edge rusher.
Right.
So it's funny. You walked into this league and you were a guy. There wasn't a lot of there wasn't no question. By the end of your first year, start of your second year, it's like, okay, he's going to be a Pro Bowler. There may be edge rushers that are a bit faster, a little bigger. What separates you? Why are you and Khalil Mack? Like, what is it? It can't just be 40 time and combine stuff. There's got to be something innate, Cam, in you that you have a sense, your intuition. What is it that separates you?
I mean, I feel like I'm more physical than most edge rushers simply because when I got drafted to play the 4 technique. I didn't get drafted to play the edge. I didn't get drafted to play a 9 to hold the edge and keep everything focused inside. I primarily came in my rookie year, and I was a 4 technique. I was lined up inside of a tackle. I was lined up on a guard. So I came in for all hands. I was there for all aggression. I was there for all run-stopping abilities.
And hands were everything.
Hands, everything. So hand placement, the mentality of attacking a person in terms of instead of just holding the edge and keeping my outside 9 or, whatever it is. So my mentality, I feel like, is different because I tell guys all the time, I'm here for the hands. I'm here to reset the line of scrimmage. I'm here to try and dominate my opponent. Whereas, guys like Khalil and your Vons are elite steps, 2-point stance, and they set an edge, and that's what they're great at.
When you we talked about you've been well compensated and deservedly so. So Dak Prescott goes in the 4th round, doesn't make anything for 3 years, sells a ton of jerseys, keeps the Cowboys on TV. And there is a sentiment among some, like, listen, you're the Cowboy quarterback, no state tax, little hometown discount. We can't pay the quarterback $32 large. Where do you fall on that? Like, I tend to be take the money. I can't believe so many NBA players take less to go play because they like the weather in California. I'm like, you seen the taxes here? You think Canada's bad? How much is salary to you? Do you worry that a quarterback salary? Do you think about that? Or are you just like, dude, I'm good, pay me?
Yeah, I'm probably falling. I mean, if you watch my contracts go, I'm probably with the "I'm good, pay me" situation. I like where I'm at. I like the scheme that I am. I love the foundation we have in the facility. It's important to me to not only stay with one team, but stay at base home. I mean, New Orleans has been home for me. So to talk on another person's money or another person's aspect, I can't do it. I would simply say if he loves Dallas, if he loves where he's at, if he loves his opportunity, then you make it work. And at the same time, he's also a quarterback. So he is the face of that franchise. He is, if he says he's unhappy, it's the franchise's situation to make it right. So, I mean, yeah, that's a whole different position. You talk about edge rusher to quarterback.
Well, no, I would say edge rusher, don't sell yourself short.
No doubt. But our highest paid edge rusher is making, 24? The highest paid quarterback's making 35?
That's a lot of lettuce. 24 is a lot of lettuce.
No doubt. No doubt.
By the way, when you practice with Drew Brees every day, if I'd never seen Drew Brees play, and I said, Cameron, there's this great quarterback, Drew Brees, games run on TV. What makes him great?
Your first practice you ever went, you'd see how great he is. And it's not in the throws he's making, it's in his preparation. It's in the walkthroughs. I mean, if you watch him walkthroughs, he's making all the reads, he's making all the throws, and it's all mental, and that's without even throwing the ball. So you just see this guy warming up, and Drew's back here doing one of these, and he's here, and he's talking to his receivers, and he's got open dialogue with all the receivers, with all the running backs. He's talking to the center, especially since we have a new center. He's talking to the offensive lineman. He's talking to everybody, saying exactly where his offense is going to go.
Communicator.
Exactly. So that open dialogue already separates you from most quarterbacks.
Is he a barker? Does he get after guys occasionally?
I mean, he's a competitor.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
I mean, when you're an ultimate competitor, you want things to go exactly how you are. But again, you have guys like Alvin Kamara who has his feel. And we have a top receiver, probably the best receiver in the game right now, Michael Thomas, who is going to have that open banter, and that's what you hope for, constructive criticism.
You've had two wild finishes. You won one, you lost one last couple of years. Right? Like you have the let's say the Minnesota one was. No, Stephon Diggs was that. That's right. So you lost both. My bad.
Yeah.
Top of mind.
Minnesota Miracle.
Yeah,
and then you
Minnesota
lose
Miracle.
To the referees and
yeah,
such.
okay. So it'd be. And I said this. I said I don't know if New Orleans can rebound from back-to-back gut wrenching, gut kicking losses. And Drew Brees, after the game, said something I thought was really important. He goes, "I don't want to hear about the officials." And his takeaway was, we better get over this fast. Are you concerned, Cam, or how concerned are you about when you lose the way you lose? There's a stench to it, there's a stick to it, and it goes into camp.
I mean, absolutely, there is definitely a stick to it. When you talk about losing the way you did, but as long as you take it in a positive mindset that everything has to come from you. I mean, last year we lost to Minnesota. It was like if we never let them get that close to us, then we'd be so much further ahead. I mean, we hate to put it on somebody. Like we say, you could put it on the referees. Like if you weren't, you're supposed to be the top of your position. If you make the right call, we'd be so much further. But if honestly, we were up by 2 touchdowns. So if we kept that lead, then we'd never been in the position that we were in. So you got to take it on us. You got to put it on the team. You got to put it on the defense. And our defense is young enough where it's like, hey, we want to go beyond expectations. So last season was last season. How do we get better from here? We've got Demario Davis, who's entering his second year with the team, who was a force for us last year. Sheldon Rankins had one of the, his best season to date last year. David Onyemata was balling last year. Marcus Davenport is heading into his second season, and that first year to second year league.
Huge.
You look at that, our secondary, the whole Ohio State secondary that we have, plus our Utah. I mean, these are all guys going from their second year to the third year. How much better can they get? You added in Eli Apple. You got Patrick Robertson, who should be healthy this year. I mean, coming in as a nickel corner. There's so much promise to our defense. It's now living up to expectation, exceeding our own.
Your dad was a Pro Bowl tight end for the Vikings.
Living legend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, I mean, great player. If there's one thing Dad taught son about the NFL, what was it?
He taught me a lot heading into my rookie year. It was try and absorb everything from the greats that you're around. So at the time I was around, Roman Harper, Malcolm Jenkins, Jonathan Vilma, Will Smith. And it was like, what separated them from everybody else? Was it their mental prep for JV? It was like all the mental film work that he did. It was, for Roman Harper, he used to have, Guns Friday. He used to work on his arms religiously. So it's just like taking little things away. For Will, is about just, the constant ability to have that grind, that gritty mentality. Like, if anything, I'm going to go get it. And it's not about what everybody else is doing. It's about how much can I get better the next day. So it was all just taking a little bit of something from each and every grade I could find.
When the season ends, how much time do you give your body? Just go have a bad meal and a big piece of cake.
Bad meal. I live great in the off season for that first month and a half. I'm like living, traveling, eating, drinking whatever I want at all times of the day. Like, it's gelatinous. I get I get hefty quick, and then I'm just like, all right, time to be an athlete again.
That's it. They say for marathoners, they say if you want to stay healthy, don't run for a month and a half and go eat.
Right.
Like, just reward your body. Don't go run another marathon. They tell you for a month, go eat.
I'm a firm believer in that one. Go travel, eat, enjoy. I went around the world from LA to LA.
Favorite country you've ever been to in the world?
Hong Kong was awesome. As much as I love the UAE, as much as I love France.
Ever been to Croatia?
No.
Heard it's amazing. Prague?
No. Finland.
Finland's amazing.
Finland is surprisingly awesome.
My daughter just went to Cape Town.
Okay.
Said it's the most beautiful city she's ever been to.
See, I think I was headed to Cape Town a couple years ago, and then they had like a newspaper article like 3 weeks before I was supposed to go, had like a cheetah run through a hotel, and I was like, so no longer Cape Town. That was just like, this is just like had we, we went to the Bahamas a couple weeks ago. 3 days later, there was a shark attack. Had that happened 3 days before I would have bumped Bahamas, it would have nixed the Bahamas. Would have been known as Sal.
You're well read and prepared in your travels.
No doubt.
Anytime you're here, you want to come on the show, talk about anything, promote anything, come on the show. We'd love to have you. Just whenever you're in town, you want to hang out.
I appreciate that.